and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to NaNoWriMo day 6. We're up to day 6. Really don't know how to feel about that. You're going to be watching this on Nano day 13. So yeah, we're cranking through the month. I'm not sure, well, I know how I feel about that. I'm not very happy about that. November is definitely going by fast, and I really need November to go slow. And I knew this was going to be the problem this month. I knew that November was going to go by really fast. There's just so much going on, and I'm trying really hard to go slow and be mindful and be in the moment. And I do have to say, for being 6 days in, I'm doing really well about not stressing. Like today, there's been so much grading to do. It's getting late in the afternoon. I'm going to let myself do some nano writing, but I haven't done any work on independent hearts today. It is what it is. It's just how it's going to be. I don't know that my brain can really handle independent hearts right now. I really am down to the last few steps, and I cannot make any mistakes because I'm at the point where then the mistakes will get published. Like, this is the last chance to review things. So I just think I need to have more time and more brain space and not feel like I'm rushing. If I were to work on it right now, I would feel like I'm rushing. I don't mind feeling like I'm rushing through nano writing because I want to go hiking. I've been grading all day and my brain is at max capacity for what it can handle as far as grading and emails and teacher admin and stuff like that. I had forms that I had to fill out and submit, and like all of that's done and all of that's great. Well, I'm not done grading, but I'm where I'm happy to be for today. It's Monday. I don't think I said that. I said it was day 6. Didn't say it's Monday. It's Monday, day 6 of NaNoWriMo. So it's Monday and it's a whole new work week. So I've had a lot of teaching work to do. It's also a short week because we have Friday off for Veterans Day observed. So Veterans Day is on Saturday, but whenever Veterans Day is on a Saturday or a Sunday, we typically get the Friday or the Monday off. So I have Friday off, which is fantastic, and I'm going to take full use of that for independent hearts for sure, as well as nano. We'll vlog that separately. So yeah, I'm trying to be able to wrap up some things early this week. I think that will make things easier for independent hearts 3 anyway, rather than trying to fit things in here and there in like really short rushed work sessions. I think I'm going to do what I can on Wednesday because I'm not getting anything done today. I won't get anything done tomorrow, but I'm going to do what I can on Wednesday for that, and then a bit more on Thursday, and then hopefully wrap everything up on Friday and upload it on Sunday. I definitely need some sleep before I upload it, so I will not upload it on Friday. Even if everything is done and ready to be uploaded on Friday, it won't get uploaded that day. So not this vlog, and probably not the next vlog, but hopefully the vlog after that will be the upload day vlog. Like, that's how close we are, y'all. We are so close to this book being done. But which is why, like I was saying, the things that I'm working on right now are final proofreading and copy editing and proofreading of the front matter and the back matter and the book description and getting the cover finished. And it's just, I could do some cover work, but I don't even feel like doing cover work for like 15 minutes. Like, I don't want to be rushing through that. So we're not going to work on independent hearts today. I took longer than anticipated to do grading, but I think I'm now set up to hopefully be caught up with grading by middle of the day on Thursday, which would be great because by the time I log off on Thursday, I want all the grading, everything that's being turned in this week, I want that graded before I log off for the long weekend. So yeah, so grading has been the priority today, which has left very little time for book stuff at the end of the day, but that's fine. This is how some days are. I get asked a lot how I manage to balance everything, and people say, I don't know how you do it. Honestly, I don't know how I do it either half the time. It just gets done. Stuff just gets done. And I think sometimes you just have to fall back on faith and trust in yourself that you'll get stuff done. So that's a huge part of it. But it's also just some days are more heavy for one task than another. Today has been a very teaching heavy day. I've been doing a lot of grading, a lot of email, a lot of that stuff, and it's left very little time at the end of the day for book stuff. Other days I do work in the earlier mornings, or I do work in the evenings, or I'll take a break to do some book work in the middle of the afternoon, but then I'll do some more grading or check my email and reply to emails after 5 p.m. Stuff gets done. And I am slowly learning to trust myself that I always get stuff done. And maybe things will get done at a different time than my initial deadline, but I'm lucky that in my job, there's very few things for my full-time job that have to be done by a certain time, day and time. And with book stuff and YouTube stuff, I set the deadline, so there's very few things that have to be done by a specific day and time, because I can always push things back or just not upload a video one day or 1 week. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. And it used to feel like the end of the world. It definitely did, but I'm getting better at reminding myself it's not the end of the world if something doesn't get done by a specific day and time if I'm the one who set that deadline. So all of this is a very long and rambly way of saying I've been doing a ton of teaching work today, and setting myself up to have an easier, lighter end of the week, and that's very important to me. And now I'm going to do a little bit of NaNoWriting, and then we will go for a nice, lovely hike. I'm really looking forward to that. Not a very long hike, because I'm tired and I've got to go work on campus tomorrow, so I cannot overdo it. I think I might have overdone it a little bit this weekend. I did not sleep well last night, so that's not ideal, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling because this is supposed to be a short intro, and now it's been just about 9 minutes long. So I'm gonna get to writing. I need to open up Scrivener. Scrivener is telling me we're aiming for 813 words. That number is coming down, which is nice, but it's probably gonna go back up because I don't think I'm gonna get to 813. I might, but I don't think so. Okay, it is now getting late. I have to go hiking or I'm not going to make it. As far as writing, I only got 570 words. I have so many questions and so few answers where this project is concerned. So it is difficult to come up with words. Like it is hard to get to my word count, and there's no way I could get to 50K. I don't know, like I think my word count will pick up later in the month when I do start answering some of these questions, but right now at this stage, there's just every question then spawns another 3 questions, and yeah. So I talked in the last vlog about how overwhelmed this project is making me, and it's still, I'm still overwhelmed. I'm definitely still overwhelmed. I'm very excited. It's intriguing. Like I said in the last vlog as well, I'm definitely hooked by this project. There's no way I'm gonna not work on this project. But I am just, every day that I sit down to work on this, I am so struck by how different it is. It's so different from anything I have ever written. And I can't even compare it to my process or my experience of writing the first draft of this book, because the story and the series that I'm developing now is so different from what I originally intended. And it's different even than what I had started thinking back in 2020 when I first tried resurrecting this project. I have nothing really to compare it to. I don't really have any frame of reference. It all feels new. It all feels like a challenge. It's definitely pushing me as a writer. And so, like I said in the last vlog, I don't think I could have written this version of the story that I'm trying to tell now. I don't think I could have written this 13 years ago. It's definitely pushing me outside of my comfort zone. I think that's why I'm feeling so overwhelmed, because I don't do well. Just FYI. In case you haven't figured it out, I don't do well when I'm pushed out of my comfort zone. I like my comfort zone. I'm perfectly comfortable. That's why it's called the comfort zone. I'm happy in my comfort zone. So whether it's related to writing or anything else, like, it's really hard to get me to challenge myself and really push the boundaries and push my limits and do something different. I will stick to the status quo longer than I should sometimes, and it's not always a good thing. So like with writing feels like a safe space to push myself out of my comfort zone, because it's just writing. Nothing bad is going to happen to me if I work on this project and it goes nowhere or something. So like, it's worth it, and it's a good experiment in proving to myself that I can push myself out of my comfort zone and the world won't end. But I am definitely pushing myself, and I'm not, I think that's where the overwhelm is coming from. I'm not comfortable. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have any answers. I'm trying to take what I know about writing from what I've learned from all the romance novels and apply it to a very different kind of project. And yeah, it's scary. If this was anything other than writing a book, I would probably be backing away now, because it is that far out of my comfort zone, and I think I would just scare myself off too much and would just be like, no, I'm going back to the safety and comfort of what I know and what I know how to do and what I know how to handle. So like, we're at that level of just fear and overwhelm of like, I am so far out of my depth, and I intellectually kind of know what I'm doing, but creatively I'm really struggling. And I know it's still early days, and that's what I keep reminding myself. It's still early days, so it's fine. It will come together. Like, I'm really having to trust in the process and believe in the process and trust that I didn't know how to write a romance novel when I first started working on A Brave Start, book 1 of Across the Pond. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd only written a fantasy novel at that point. Romance was completely different. I'd read a ton of romance, but I just had an idea for a story. And so I'm kind of back in that place where I just have an idea for a story and for a series. I think the fact that it's also not just one book, but it's the whole series. But then I don't think it's that, because I really am treating the whole series as if it was just one book. So it is ultimately just that it's a whole different genre, and I am now so much more familiar with the genre because I've read so much more within the fantasy, supernatural, paranormal, urban fantasy, magical realism aspects of the fantasy genre. I've read so much more examples of that now I know what I'm comparing myself to, or rather what other people will be comparing this book to. And I'm having to really try to not think about that, because that way madness lies and nothing good will come of that kind of comparison. But Yeah. These are just some of the random thoughts going around in my brain right now. I'm glad I'm doing this for Nano. I'm glad I'm documenting this. I think it's going to be very interesting to look back at the end of the month to how I was feeling at the start of the month. I also think it's going to be very interesting, like, once I do get this further along, like once I'm up to the querying process, to look back at the beginning of all of this and see like how I felt at this stage. Like once all of this development is done and I go back to working on the first draft and I get the first draft revised and edited and ready to be queried, I think everything I'm dealing with now is going to feel completely different. So I've never been able to document what it's like starting at the very, 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 very beginning of something completely new. Like by the time I started editing A Brave Start, first of all, I didn't tell you all about it until I was partway through the editing process. And also by that point, I'd had 7 years, 8 years of working on the first draft. And so while I was new to publishing, I didn't feel brand new to that story. This feels different. This feels like I am at the very beginning stages of something massive. And I don't mean in terms of like hopefully being a bestseller or something, just massive in terms of certainly the biggest writing project I have ever undertaken at this point. It'll be the biggest series. It'll be the biggest story, the most complex story that I'm trying to tell. And so I'm glad I'm documenting it, because I've not been able to document something starting at this stage. Normally I'm doing all this thinking and stuff, plotting kind of behind the scenes, or I hadn't started my YouTube channel yet or something like that. And I don't know. I hope it's valuable. I hope it's useful to some of you who are at a very beginning stage. I hope wherever you're at in your publishing journey, that watching me flounder and flail my way through this process, I hope it brings some comfort to you, because I feel like we don't often see writers and authors talking through their process at this stage, where they're really grappling with all the big picture components of a story and struggling to figure out how everything is coming together, and the doubt that starts to creep in. So I'm glad I'm documenting it. It's definitely going to be a very different NaNoWriMo. I think you've already figured that out by now, from the first couple Nano vlogs that have gone up. But yeah, it's exciting and daunting. But I'm gonna go for my hike. I'm gonna use that time to think a little bit more about the story, but also hopefully unwind a little bit. And then tomorrow I've got teaching. I probably won't vlog at all tomorrow, but I will probably pick this vlog back up on Wednesday, and we'll see if I can get to maybe 1,000 words. Alrighty, it is now Wednesday. I am just sitting down this afternoon to do some book work. We're going to do some Nano in a little bit, but first I want to do some Independent Hearts. So I don't want Nano and I don't want vlogging NaNoWriMo to distract me from doing Independent Hearts 3, but also from sharing Independent Hearts 3. So I don't want to just like not document the last bit of this process as well. I did manage to do a tiny bit of Nano work yesterday. So didn't do any Independent Hearts 3 work yesterday because I never do any book work usually on a Tuesday. Tuesdays are usually just entirely teaching related and being on campus. I thought, let me just see if I can do any Nano work. So I did, and I got more than I thought. For about 15 minutes, all I had was 10 words, and I thought, maybe this is all I get today, and that would be fine. But I decided to switch to a different section of the Scrivener project and started working on just developing this one aspect of the story, and had a few ideas and managed 202 words, I believe. I don't know if I'm going to continue writing every single day. It might be that on the future Tuesdays and on like the rest of the Tuesdays this month and on Thanksgiving and like the Wednesday and Friday before and after Thanksgiving, when I'll be doing a lot of family stuff, I might only do like 50 words those days, and that will be fine. So like I will technically maintain a daily writing streak. It's not so much about maintaining a streak for me, it's more about just maintaining a daily habit and a daily routine. I think that's one of the nice things about Nano is if you are like fully participating in Nano, whether as a rebel or going for 50K, I think one of the better aspects of Nano, regardless of your word count, is to just try to maintain a daily writing streak and building up that daily habit. And I find that when I've not really been writing daily, when I switch to a daily writing routine, especially if my word count is lower and more manageable, or if the goal is purely to write every day, even if it's only 10 words a day, it's still getting my brain back into that routine and rhythm of writing consistently. And so when the Nano month ends, and this applies to camp in April or in July, when the Nano month ends, it's then easier for me to maintain, if not a daily writing routine, then at least a Monday through Friday or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like whatever. It's easier to maintain a more consistent routine. It's like the daily routine kind of shocks my brain. Not the shock is a dramatic word, but it just sort of gets my brain back into a more consistent routine. And so then when I ease back off of daily writing into 5 days a week or 4 days a week, it makes it easier to stick to that more reasonable routine because I've gotten used to daily, and so going back to 5 days a week or 4 days a week feels easier than 7 days a week. So I do want to try to maintain a daily writing routine, even if the word count is really low on some of those days. But if I can't write during some day, then it's not the end of the world. It's not going to be like a horrible thing. So I did manage to do some writing yesterday. Today, I want to do some more writing, and I would like to try to get to my daily goal in Scrivener. I do want to go for a hike later, and I do want to work on Independent Hearts first. So Nano will be my reward for getting done with Independent Hearts. So today we are working on the interior of the book. I'm taking a little bit more time off the cover. I might look at the cover today, but I hope if not today, then definitely by the end of tomorrow, I think I can get the book interior done. So the story part of the interior is done. That's been copy edited, that's been proofread, that's been all the final corrections from the beginning of the prologue to the end of the epilogue. That is done. But it's the front matter and the back matter that I still need to do. And then I also need to do a final tweak, copy edit, proofread of the book description and my bio. I also have a time that I want to start working on. I want to start working on NaNo at 3 so that I can have an hour for NaNo, and then I can stop at 4 and get changed, get ready to go hiking, and be out on the trail by 4:30. Sun is setting at 5:30 on the dot now. Sun is setting at 5:30, so I want to get out to the trail by 4:30. I don't think I will hike for the full hour. Yeah, so I'm on the clock, so to speak, and somewhat racing daylight. I've got a lot to do within a short span of time. I don't think editing the front matter and back matter will take that long, but I'm also tired and just working a little bit more slowly today. But I've got my Independent Hearts candle, project candle, burning for one of the last few times. I mean, I will finish the candle, but like there really aren't that many work sessions left on this book. So I haven't been lighting it the last couple times I've sat down quickly to work, but I lit it for today. I've got my paper checklist, I've got my digital checklist. It is time to get going on this. It is earlier than I thought it would be, and I managed to get everything for Independent Hearts 3 that I wanted to get done today. I got it all done. So the book interior is done, which is really wild to think about. It's literally just the cover now. That is very exciting. It's both covers. It's the ebook and the paperback. Yeah, it's just the cover. And I have also, I put up all 3 covers side by side and took a screenshot of that to send to a couple friends and to my mom to get their thoughts. And I was liking the cover on its own, but seeing it side by side, there are some things that just kind of make it look like which one is not like the others, and that's not what I want. Like, there's a lot of similarities, but then there's some things with the colors that just aren't quite right. So I'm gonna play with those tomorrow. So I'm still tweaking the cover illustration and still tweaking the front cover design, and then once that is done, I can then create the paperback cover and just put the whole print front cover design on the front cover of the paperback, and then design the spine and the back cover. So it's coming along. I'm gonna have an early day tomorrow, and then Friday is a day off because it is Veterans Day observed, since Veterans Day falls on Saturday. So I'm really hoping I can finish up the cover tomorrow and Friday and then upload this on Sunday. Yeah, it's kind of scary to think about that, but also normally I would be getting really scared and anxious and coming up with things that still need to be tweaked and things just to drag it out, and you know, let's do it next weekend. This is okay, let's do it next weekend. I don't want to do it next weekend. I've got other plans I want to do for next weekend. I just want to get this done and off my plate and out of my hair and just get it moving on to the next stage, which is the wait stage, where I wait for the proof copy to arrive, and then from there I can decide when it's actually going to get published. So like I really want to get this done, and I'm finding that I'm just letting go of my perfectionism. Like I could workshop the book description for several more weeks, or I could let this go, and if I come up with a better idea for the book description, I can just update the Amazon page later. That is the joy of being an indie, is you can make a lot of changes once the book is actually published. I wouldn't go in like change the ending, but if there's a typo, you can change it. If you come up with a better idea for a book description, you can change it. And I know some authors will change their book description just as a matter of habit every few months, just to see how one does and just to keep it fresh, so it's fresh for the algorithm or whatever. I don't do that, but it just shows that some of the things that I will obsess over are things that I can change. If I think that my keywords aren't the best, I can go in and change my keywords in the back end of KDP anytime I want to. So there's very few things that can't be changed. So I'm doing the best that I can and then letting it go. And that's where we're at. Ugh, it's scary, but exciting. Like, I'm just so ready for this one to be done. I really am. I know a lot of you are ready to read it, and all of you are probably ready for me to just stop talking about it and move on to the next project. So we're almost there. I promise. We're almost there. For now, I've got a little over an hour left before I want to get changed and go get ready to go hiking. So I'm going to switch to NaNoWriting for now, and do a little bit of NaNoWriting, see how many words I can get. I'm still feeling very much like how I felt on Monday. The little bit of work that I did yesterday hasn't changed anything. Like, we're still very early in this project and I'm still feeling really overwhelmed. Still feeling really excited, but just it feels so massive. And I know I have said that a million times already in just the last several days. It does. It feels so massive, so much bigger than any project I've ever worked on. And it almost is making my brain glitch a little bit. It's just like, do I really have the mental capacity to work on this? But then I just keep coming back to the feeling of, well, if not now, then when am I going to have the capacity? Because like, I'm slowly working on recovering from burnout, but like my life is probably always going to be busy. Well, I don't know if there's ever really going to be a good time to work on this project. So I may as well just start it now and not keep putting it off. But yeah, it's still a lot. So we're gonna work on this. I'm gonna switch over my playlists and get ready, get going on this for a bit, and then I'm so ready to go for a hike. I'm so ready to go for a hike, especially because it is only 76 degrees outside. So we'll see. The goal is, I'd say minimum, I'd like 500, minimum 500 words. Better would be hitting 850 because that's what Scrivener is telling me, and I'd really love to hit that if possible. Best would be 1,000. I think we're going to be somewhere between good and better. I don't know that we're going to be that far between better and best, but we'll see. Okay, I'm stopping for the day. I did not get that far. I got to my good goal. We're over 500 words. We're at 547, which brings me up to 5,979 words total for the month so far, which I'm happy about. So yeah, making progress, but I definitely would like to get back up around the like 800 to 900 word mark. I do think that like if I can get the book Independent Hearts uploaded this weekend, I think, well, next week is going to be a challenge because I'm doing conferences all week again. But I think starting next week and certainly the weekend after, I can start focusing on this more. Like today I could really feel like I'm already tired, and then I spent time working on Independent Hearts and that just wore me out a bit. So there just wasn't much left. There wasn't much creativity left in my brain. So yeah, but it's fine. It's all good. We'll get it sorted out. I will get more written. I was working on kind of the outline for book 1 a bit today. I just kind of go through all the different sections and kind of read through my notes each day and just see where it feels like there's something I can add to. So we're really just kind of still in that stage of throwing all the toys into the sandbox, so to speak. I'm not building anything in the sandbox yet. I'm just throwing everything in there that I could possibly need, and then we'll see what happens. So I did spend some time looking through my binder copy, my physical binder back here that has the first draft. There's just so much of that that needs to be reworked, and it's becoming more and more obvious. And reading back through it, just for the first time, I was reading, like actually reading some of the sections. I know I reread it back in like 2020. Reading it again, I'm feeling even, now that I'm getting more ideas for the series as a whole, I'm feeling less attached to what I wrote before. It's a process. Like they say, you have to trust the process. I'm really having to just trust that all of this will work out. I will get all of this worked out. I will answer these questions. There's no rush exactly. I'm hoping to have more answers than questions by the end of this month, but like we're only a quarter of the way through Nano. It's just the first week. We've still got 3 more weeks. Although at the rate that time is going, 3 weeks, not that long. But like I don't even have to have all this figured out by the end of Nano. There will still be plenty of questions by the end of Nano, but I really would like to try to have a rough skeleton outline of the whole series, and then I can keep working on the series outline while I start working on the first draft. I think if I can just get, originally I thought I was going to have a lot more of the series outline done. Now I'm starting to think I get so many ideas while I'm writing, so now I'm starting to feel like maybe I do need to start working on the first draft while I'm working on the outline. And I don't really want to do that during Nano. I think I can spend Nano continuing to develop and working on the outline, but I think once Nano is done, I will probably just kind of, with wherever this document that I'm working in right now, the series Bible, wherever that is at by the end of November, I will still start working on revising the first draft, because I think I just need to start tinkering in there and making that make a little bit more sense and really solidify the first draft outline. But Nano is going to be helpful with solidifying the first draft outline, because there are key moments that I know I want to keep from that book. I might put them in different orders, and I might give them different priorities as far as how much of the book they take up. So yeah, so I was working on book 1, the outline for that, and just trying to make that make more sense in my head with what I'm now thinking of for the rest of the series. So yeah, so I only got 547 words, but I have been working on this for over an hour. It is now 4:07. I have to get going or I'm not gonna have time for my hike. So I'm gonna take you all with me. We'll have one more hike for this vlog, and yeah, probably do a lot more thinking while I'm hiking. The story is kind of taking over my brain. So the hikes help. So The hikes help work out the thought so that I can kind of not then be obsessing over it all night long. Beautiful. Actually started to feel a little bit cool there at the end. It's 71 degrees now. I feel like that's been one of the nicest hikes of the season so far because I don't feel like I've gotten overheated. I definitely went slow. I did not go fast at all. Took it slow, took it easy. Still did about over 1.5 miles, I think. Well, 1.4. So almost 1.5 miles. So hiked for a good amount, about 45 minutes. So not terribly long, not terribly far, definitely not very fast. I'm still pretty exhausted from work yesterday, so I wanted to keep it pretty simple. So might do a little bit more intense of a hike tomorrow. Whew, the sun went behind a cloud for a minute and now it is definitely back out. Didn't do very much thinking about my book. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I like hiking, especially hiking in the evening. Like I do love a good morning hike when the weather is really nice and it's not super hot in the morning. But there's something about the sunset hikes that just feel like they end the day. And when I go home after the hike, work is done. Yeah, so sometimes I think about my books and what I'm writing and my projects while I'm hiking, and that can be really good. That can be really helpful because hiking is very meditative. And so if you have, walking is the same way. So if you have a problem that you're trying to solve, thinking it over while you're hiking or walking can help you solve that problem. So sometimes I do think about my projects while I'm hiking, but other times I just want to turn my brain off. And I thought I would do more thinking about the book, but then I ended up not. So I'll work on it tomorrow. I really am enjoying this project. I'm settling in. Like, it's not that I don't still feel overwhelmed. Definitely still feel overwhelmed by the project, but I'm gradually kind of moving into a phase of learning to trust the process and just accept that this is what we all go through. And I think because, not that my romance novels are formulaic, but I just have a general structure that is a starting point. And so I don't feel as lost with those when I'm starting a new one, because I have that like structure that works as an anchor
And if I get a better idea, then I can deviate from that structure. But if I get lost or stuck, I always have that to pull back to. But with this, I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't have a like set structure that I can trust and work with. And I'm finding my way through day by day. And so I just have to trust that it will come together eventually. And it'll come together sooner than I think. It's just not going to come together in the first 8 days of NaNoWriMo. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. Y'all know I love a good card chat at the end of a hike, but we need to wrap this vlog up. Thank you for spending Monday and today with me and keeping me company. It's been great. Like, I talked about this, I think, earlier in this vlog, that I love that I'm documenting this process because I feel like that's really valuable. Or maybe that was in the last vlog. I'm losing track now. But I also love that part of the documenting process is vlogging and talking to all of you, because in talking to all of you, I'm working through a lot of these questions. And then I know whenever I've had trouble with something, you all leave such great advice in the comments. So it's like, I feel like I've got my team of writing helpers, whether you're other writers or you're readers, you all have a love of books and storytelling and always have great words of wisdom and advice to share whenever I'm struggling with something. So like, I'm glad I've got you all with me as part of this process. So thanks for keeping me company. I hope I've been able to keep you company with whatever you've been doing. I think that can be our question of the day. What were you doing while you were watching this video? Are you just sitting on your couch with a cozy cup of tea or hot chocolate, watching this in the evening while you relax? Or have I kept you company while you've been working or while you've been writing? What have you been up to while watching this? I love to know. Yeah, so that's our question of the day. You can also leave me a sun emoji for the gorgeous sunset that is happening. Give the vlog a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. All of that great stuff. I would really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm gonna get going and I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye.